The first golden spear of dawn pierced the ancient curtains, illuminating a universe swirling within its beam amongst countless brothers and sisters. One particular dust mote, no larger than a sigh, felt the familiar warmth. He danced in sunbeams for longer than he could remember, drifting from forgotten corners to dusty shelves. Content in his tiny existence, this morning felt different, though a subtle shift in the air, a faint tremor through the floorboards, sent a thrill of unknown possibility through his minute form. He clung tighter to the sunbeam, a radiant highway stretching across the dim room, feeling the gentle currents lift him below. The vast landscape of a worn oak desk, littered with papers like miniature continents, seemed to beckon him towards adventure far beyond the familiar shadowed realms beneath the bed, propelled by an almost imperceptible draft sneaking under the door. The tiny Voyager sailed further than ever before. He skimmed over the towering cliffs of stacked books, catching glimpses of faded ink worlds within their pages. He navigated the treacherous valleys between scattered pencils, each a fallen giant. The sunbeam guided him towards the room's edge, where a vast, clear expanse shimmered, a window looking out onto an impossibly green world. Trees like colossal emeralds swayed gently, and the distant blue sky stretched endlessly for a dust mote whose entire world had been wood grain and fabric. This vista was staggering, a glimpse into an overwhelming, beautiful infinity. He pressed as close as the invisible barrier allowed, awestruck by the sheer scale and vibrant life humming just beyond his reach, feeling simultaneously insignificant and profoundly connected to the vastness. Suddenly, the universe tilted violently. The heavy oak door swung open with a groan, unleashing a hurricane of displaced air. The sunbeam shattered into chaotic streams, and the little dust mote was torn from his celestial path. Caught in the turbulent whirlwind of human entrance, he tumbled helplessly, end over end, a leaf in a gale. The familiar landmarks, the desk, the bookshelf, the comforting corner, whirled past in a terrifying blur. He was swept across the rough terrain of a braided rug, over the cool, smooth plane of a wooden floor, finally coming to rest in a dim, quiet corner near the skirting board. Utterly disoriented and trembling with the shock of his unexpected voyage into the unknown darkness beneath a looming armchair, the silence here was profound, heavy, and cool. The vibrant sunbeam felt like a distant dream. Strange shapes loomed in the gloom, lost buttons like dull moons, a forgotten hairpin like a silver spire, and other dust motes huddled together in quiet clusters. He felt terribly alone, a tiny speck adrift in a shadowy sea. The air hung still and thick just as despair threatened to settle over him like a shroud. A faint, rhythmic vibration began to hum through the floorboards. It grew steadily louder, a comforting, deep thrumming that seemed to resonate within his very being. Then, warmth, gentle, radiant heat blossomed nearby, pushing back the chill of the shadows. Cautiously, he drifted towards this new source of light and comfort, drawn like a moth to a hidden star in the corner's velvet darkness. He emerged near the base of a colossal, softly humming structure radiating soothing heat. The furnace vent nearby, resting on the warm floorboards, lay a vast, sleeping creature, its sides rising and falling with slow, deep breaths. It was a cat, a mountain of soft fur, its rhythmic purring creating the gentle vibrations that filled the air. The dust mote drifted closer, settling onto a patch of sun-warmed wood beside the giant creature's paw. The heat was blissful, seeping into his core, and the steady purr was a lullaby more profound than any he'd ever known. He felt safe here, sheltered by the sleeping giant's peaceful presence, a tiny traveler finding unexpected sanctuary in the lee of a slumbering beast, lulled by the primal song of its contentment. Hours drifted by in a haze of warmth and gentle sound. The sunbeam shifted, stretching long fingers across the room, but the dust mote remained, content in his new haven. As dusk painted the room in hues of violet and orange, the human returned this time. The movements were slower, quieter. The dust mote watched as gentle hands lifted a soft cloth. A wave of cool, clean air washed over him as the cloth passed nearby, gathering other motes. But the human's touch was careful, almost reverent. Around the sleeping cat the cloth swept wide, yet skirted their warm sanctuary. The dust mote understood then, in a quiet epiphany. He wasn't just debris, he was a witness, a silent participant in the room's story. The cat's purr, the human's care, the dance of the sunbeams. He was part of the intricate, beautiful tapestry of this quiet domestic universe. A speck holding the echo of sunlight and the memory of purrs. Night deepened. The cat Stretched and padded silently away, the furnace vent cooled yet. The dust mote felt no fear. He lingered on the warm spot, gazing up at the window now filled with a million glittering stars. He thought of his wild journey a Euro, the sunbeam highway, the terrifying draft, the shadowy corner, and the profound peace found beside the sleeping giant. He was ready. A faint, almost playful current, perhaps stirred by the settling house or a distant sigh of wind outside, lifted him gently. He rose, drifting not with fear, but with a quiet sense of completion, towards the dark space beneath the old wardrobe, a familiar resting place. His voyage had shown him the vastness, the warmth, the gentle care, and his own quiet place within it all. As he settled onto a high, dusty shelf, he carried the starlight in his heart, a tiny traveler content with the extraordinary journey of his ordinary existence, forever part of the silent, beautiful story of the room.